Okay, hi again. Fairly fundamental to what we're creating here is what shape screen do you want? You know, they call it aspect ratio, but we just mean what shape screen do you want? I wrote a blog about this on the main website the other day, and I figured it needed some visual kind of explaining. So here we are. This is a 16:9 screen in our little cinema again, and there's nothing wrong with that. It's straightforward to arrange. It's probably the simplest. You know, you don't need any motorized lens or external lens, that kind of thing. You've got a 16:9 projector, almost certainly. 16:9 screen, it's just going to work. But let's look. So first thing is for sightlines. If you're doing 2 rows of seats, which is popular, then you've got to be really careful because you need to make sure that the back row can see over the heads of the front row. It might push your stage up a bit, that kind of thing. Back row might not be able to recline as much. It's just got to make sure everyone can see. Now the way I've solved it here is I've put the screen fairly high. It's a bit higher than I would like it really, because my front row heads are kind of level with about the bottom third of the screen, which is all right, but you're looking up a bit. It's not super comfortable or immersive for watching a film and things. And on my back row it's better actually. They're kind of level about with the middle of the screen. So that would be one way. And of course there's a projector here. I need to make sure that that beam goes nicely over everyone's heads. You know, you don't want little head-shaped gaps in your screen. So there's that. And the other thing is when you're watching Cinemascope content, which will be often, you know, you get the black bars. You could have screen masks, which are really cool, which will get rid of the black. So it's just not quite. Maybe it's a bit more like watching a TV. If you're watching films all the time, you might then be better off with Cinemascope instead. Now, practically this has advantages. The sightline maths are much easier. You know, I don't have to bring the screen as high. I could probably pull this down a little bit actually, but this is about right. You know, they're more in the middle of the screen, so are they. Looking down a bit is actually quite comfortable. You know, you look down at your phone all the time, don't you? You never look up at it. So it's the same sort of thing, same ergonomics. You want to be comfortable. But Cinemascope is a bit harder to achieve. You either need a motorized lens, which just basically zooms in, and the catch there is that you lose about a third of the screen brightness. So you need to make sure you've got plenty. Need to make sure you've got enough so that still looks nice and vibrant and all of it. Or you could stretch the picture out using a lens. Those are very nice. Bit of added cost. Also might cause a slight optical distortion with the lens there. So if you're doing gaming some of the time, you need nice straight lines. You can fix it, but you fix it with a video processor, and that's another cost again. Or you can have a Cinemascope projector, which is pretty much perfect. You know, the panel is in Cinemascope, so is your screen. That'll really work, but that's at the upperish end of the range. And again, when you're watching 16:9 stuff, which will be some of the time, as it gets smaller, you either get kind of grey bars at the side, or you can again have screen masks that come in and out. Now, there's no right answer. It depends. You know, what is the room for? If it's kind of a mix of films and games and telly and sport and things, that'll probably push you sort of 16:9. If it's films and a little bit of sport and a little bit of telly, that'll probably push you towards scope. The other thing to consider is, do you have the width in the room? Because if the room's a bit on the narrow side, and so your scope screen isn't as wide as you might like it, then the risk is that your 16:9 stuff ends up just quite a bit too small and it's not immersive. So yeah, it's a bit of a balancing act. Scope has advantages for sightlines, it definitely has advantages for movies, but that could be a bit of a compromise. Or we look at it the other way. 16:9 has advantages, it's super flexible and versatile, but it's not maybe as big or as immersive for watching scope stuff. So that sort of points you in a direction really. You know, what are you like? What do you like? What's your room like? And then once we know all that, we can pick the perfect answer for you. Lovely.